What's up, folks? This is Dan from Discern, and before I start this review, I want to remind you that the Kickstarter campaign to fund a second year of reviews, what I'm calling the second season of Discern, just started yesterday. There's a link in the description box below for you to check it out. If you have enjoyed the reviews on this channel in the past, please consider supporting me and funding even more reviews. There's a lot more details on the Kickstarter page, so please take some time to check it out. All right, these are my thoughts on the new song from Mark McMillan, No Country. Mark McMillan is a singer-songwriter from North Carolina, generally characterized under the genres of alternative rock, indie rock, and Americana. He released his debut album in 2002, but his quick uptick and surge in name recognition began when his song How He Loves, which was on his second album back in 2005, was covered by the David Crowder Band in 2009, and basically thrust that song into the worship music catalog of many churches at the time. I believe it was only a short time after this groundswell within the worship music scene that he signed with the label Integrity Music, through which he re-released his album The Medicine and his subsequent album Economy. After that, he broke off and formed his own independent label, Lionhawk Records, and released his fourth studio album, Borderland. Since the release of that record in 2014, we have seen a deluxe edition of sorts with featured guests and alternative arrangements of that album, a short EP recorded with John's wife Sarah, a live album, and a new song called Wilderland, which seemed like a rogue one-off track when it released kind of in isolation in August. But just recently, Mark McMillan announced a crowdfunding pre-order type campaign through Pledge Music for his next full-length album titled Mercury and Lightning. Now, not much is known about this album at this point, but we know the track Wilderland is a single from this album. We know the title, obviously, and we know this new song, No Country, is also a single from the album. But we don't know the release date, sometime in 2017, I presume. We don't know how much of the album has already been recorded and how much work is left. We just don't know the overall timeline. So with our sort of narrow understanding of the upcoming album, let's jump right into this song, No Country. First of all, speaking of country, there are country influences in this song. Not mainstream pop country, but alternative country for sure, or more rootsy, older style country, more folk. The melodies and arrangements are both simple and straightforward, no pretense to it, nothing elaborate about it. The sort of chug-chug of the dampened electric guitar carries through almost the entire song. The guitar licks after the chorus are mild and tame. They're not flashy or animated. And the instrumentation of this whole song is in line with John's Americana, folk, and alt-rock roots that we've seen through much of his career. Yes, this song certainly isn't as raw and organic as his early roots. It's a little more cleaned up and beautified sound, but it still carries that genuine mood that Mark McMillan has built over the years. There's some synth or piano sounds, some vocal effects, and synthetic reverb coating the drums, but most of this song feels natural. It sounds like John wasn't searching for any new equipment or experimental sounds, but he was just relying on classic, rootsy sounds and instrumentation. The chorus of this song has a splendid vocal melody, and it's supported by some excellent female vocal harmonies. It's a sound that actually reminded me of John Mayer's last album, stuff that has a folk and country flavor, but still has a bit of pop catchiness and blissful familiarity, just incredibly smooth and balanced. And John's falsetto vocals are the banner over this chorus. That's the sound that leads off the vocal melody. It's the sound that ushers you into the chorus. And for someone who usually tends to sing with a darkly smooth baritone sound, like low and deep, he has a surprisingly clean and crisp falsetto tone. Now, maybe it was heavily fixed in post during the mixing process. You never know these days, but not necessarily. The mix does do a really clever move of balancing his lead vocal with the backing vocals at just the right levels, so they kind of mesh together and become a singular sounding voice, melody and harmony really closely knit. So the sound is in this song is a simple country tune, not really any crevices or complexities to explore. It's kind of what you see is what you get, and it's kind of actually refreshing and enjoyable in its own way. But the lyrics, as is very typical with John Mark McMillan, take some more chewing on and thinking over. His typical use of metaphor makes you peel back the layers and get behind the lyrics in a sense. While the music can be understood from the surface, you'd be royally confused in this song if you approached the lyrics in that way. Like the first line in the chorus, for instance. Yeah, when the bomb went off, we were dancing in our kitchen with a neon cross. Not literal, not a surface level lyric. So let's see if we can make sense of it, make sense of this song. A big touchstone for understanding this song is the verse Matthew 8:20, which says, "And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." John Mark McMillan actually tweeted this verse out a few days before dropping this track with the hashtag #NoCountry. And if you look at the broader context of this verse, Jesus' response here comes on the heels of a question from a scribe who says, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus' response is basically, I'm not going to a place of rest or permanence here on this earth. He's saying, here in this world, there is no place to lay my head. And the greater context helps connect the dots that Jesus is saying this reality, this no country feeling was true of Christ as he walked this earth, and it will be true of anyone who will follow him. His disciples, both then and now, feel an insufficiency with this world. As foxes were made to find homes in holes, and as birds were made to find homes in nests, Jesus is saying that the Son of Man and his disciples have a home that they were purposed for, and it's in heaven. It is not on this earth. So with that little bit of theology and biblical understanding in your back pocket, the metaphors and word pictures in this song start to come alive. You start to see that John Mark McMillan is actually trying to wake you up in this song, make you realize before it hits home and radically blows you up like a bomb, that this no country feeling is true, even for us who are Christians in 21st century America. This song is a warning and an admonition if you are a follower of Christ, if you've put your faith in him for your salvation. There is no country or home for you here. He's saying, don't be ignorant, playfully dancing with a toyish neon cross while the bomb just went off outside. Don't be a hypocrite who believes this world is not your home, but lives as if it actually is. And don't be asleep. Don't miss the signals that remind you of this biblical truth. I love the beautiful contrast he has in the lines, "I feel the tremors and rumors of war upon the surface of my door." The signals of war seem so distant and intangible, in tremors and rumors, but it's as close and within reach as your front door. And as we look at the world around us, the culture, the communities, the people, it may seem like our country, like America, is so stable and safe as compared to the Middle East or to third world countries or to people living under an authoritarian rule. But we're kidding ourselves if we think we've arrived in our permanent home. We're deceiving ourselves if we think that the destructive power of sin, which rages within our own hearts, is too distant to wreck our homes and our country. For some people and classes within this country, they have already had their homes and lives wrecked. They understand the insufficiency of this world. But for many of us, we need to heed the call of this song now and not later. Because as the song says, if you come to that realization later, when the bomb has gone off, you'll be stricken with fear and uncertainty, like a panic attack, as if the floor you were standing on was ripped out from under you, or you were suddenly pulled out of a dream. Overall, this song shows that John Mark McMillan is still a critical thinker, is still capable of lyrically painting in metaphors and symbols. He's been doing that through his whole discography, but it's exciting to see that heart beating strong again in this new single. And musically, I think this song is happily simple and innocent, which is easy on the ears. It has a great, although basic sound with not much ambition, and therefore not much to critique or analyze, not much to get worried over. But I think John used this style in a clever way to reinforce the mindless, carefree attitude of dancing in our kitchen with a neon cross. You can't help but feel like dancing in that chorus, and that's kind of his point. As the song pulls you into its simple, homey warmth, so does the culture and the world around us. It feels so comfortable and lasting at times. But if we don't heed the words of this song, if we don't keep Christ's words in our minds from Matthew 8:20, we'll be the ones saying, "I never saw it coming," when the bomb goes off. Please give this song a listen for yourself. There's a link below this video to hear it. Also, please take a dive into the lyrics. I've posted a link to those as well. And finally, there's a link to John Mark McMillan's Twitter for you to follow him, check out his crowdfunding Pledge Music campaign, and stay tuned for the upcoming album, Mercury and Lightning. And with that, thank you for watching this track review. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. New track reviews just like this release every Wednesday, and new album reviews release every Friday. If you have a question or a comment for me about this track, about my thoughts about this track, or about something else, let me know. You can comment below this video, you could tweet at me at discernreviews, or you can send me an email, discernreviews@gmail.com. And don't forget, the Kickstarter campaign for this channel is underway, trying to raise money to help fund this channel through the next year, keep it going, more reviews for you, even more content actually than this year. So please support the channel with whatever you can. Thanks again for watching. I hope this helps. See ya.